So mid-December, and Leeds were at the top of the table, top of the championship table, after 21 games, level with West Brom, but 11 points clear of third position, looking set for promotion. They'd had 7 straight wins on the bounce, and were looking in really strong form. Nothing could go wrong now, could it? Well, not at first anyway. So the next game, home to Cardiff, the hated Cardiff. And quickly we were 2-0 up. Goals from Costa and Bamford. 2-0, cruising, looking for just more. When Bamford got a penalty later on, it looked even better. We were coasting, just boost the goal difference. Then something changed. Casilla flapped at a long cross, dropped out of the area to Lee Tomlin. He looked no danger, but Tomlin, marvellous piece of football, looped the ball right in at the far corner, right just inside the bar. 3-1. Nah, we don't need to worry about this. Going to cruise this. But then Cardiff got another one back, a header. Nobody doing anything about it. Still, we're okay. 3-2, we can see this out, no problem. Look like we score again. Then when Eddie Nketiah took on Morrison right at the end in the corner, and Morrison took him down. Straight red card. Might not have been worth it, but straight red card. Then down to 10 men. Cruising, we thought. And then right at the death, they scored again. The sub come on, and suddenly 3-all, and they're in the ascendancy. Now they'd done nothing all afternoon, Cardiff, and they were lucky, but we were brittle. And Leeds were falling apart again. And they said, worst to come. The following week we were playing Fulham, away at Fulham, and they were smarting from losing to Brentford, and they were ready to come back at us. Now, truth be known, we played really well at the Cottage, played really well. Should never have lost, but we did. Dodgy penalty, Ben White accused of pushing his man, and Alexander Mitrovic put the penalty in off both posts. Unlucky, we thought, yeah, well, okay, but we came back and scored. So Bamford scored, and we were all back in it. We thought we'd be alright here, we'd be alright, should be able to come away with a draw at least, if not a win. But then second half, Guy scored almost directly after a corner. Untidy goal, 2-1 down, creaking a bit. We thought, this isn't going to be as easy as we thought it was going to be. So Christmas came and went, and we're still sitting fair, we're still doing okay. We'd had no luck against Fulham, but we had plenty of luck on Boxing Day when Preston came to Ellen Road. It gives us a chasing first off, goal up, playing really well. Commentators loved it, loved to see them bossing us, as they said it. Alex Neil got his tactics exactly right, they said. Possibly he had, but came back at the death, snatch a draw. Stuart Dallas's shot took an improbable spin of a defender, an improbable deflection, and looped into the corner. 1-all, a point that we shouldn't have had. And here we've gone here, 3 games without a victory. Thought we'd get back on track at Birmingham. So 29th of December, cold afternoon in Birmingham. And again, we went 2-0 up, looking pretty, looking really good, playing some good football. Birmingham, truth be known though, were dour, and they got on top of us. And Nketiah was playing and was running around like a little kid against some big Birmingham defenders, and came more and more into the game, and they were controlling it. They gave some real problems, and just before the break they pulled one back. So the defender came out from the back, took a run down the right, and our defenders were dragged towards him, and he played the ball through down the right hand side, cross into the middle, found young Jude Bellingham. Lovely shot into the corner, looked really good. Second half they came back even more, and suddenly we were level on the hour. And now it became evident that Kiko Casilla in goal was rapidly becoming our Achilles heel. No good at corners, and the old weakness exposed again. So he flapped, ball came out, powering header went in. And suddenly 2-2. Suddenly 2-2. Now Casilla had been criticised earlier for some, poor performances. Not necessarily that bad, but he became a bit unreliable, a bit dodgy in the area, and teams have sussed that. Corners, free kicks, play him in, and we suffered. Wide balls in, as our fullbacks went on the wing raiding, plenty of room on the flanks, and they peppered us, and Casilla couldn't stand up to it. But suddenly, in came Alien from the right. Lovely take to a long ball. Picked it up, fired it into the opposite corner. 3-2, and he's off, doing his chop to the Leeds fans. Marvellous, marvellous. But then, it came back straight away. So ball in from the right, and Bally got up to it, well in front of Casilla, and he just left floundering. And then again, came back again. So this time, it was Alien playing in Dallas, flicked into there, 4-3. Game was over. 30 seconds to go. A minute later, it's suddenly 4-4. Another ball to the back post. Us giving a hiding now, on the run. And Djukovic come in, powered it in. 4-4, game over we thought. And yet, it wasn't. Final flurry, right to the death. Own goal. 5-4. What a corker. Nice to be on the right end of something like that for a change. And when we got a New Year's Day draw at West Brom, the papers were all bigging both of us up. We were both going up, easily the best sides in the division. We started to believe it. We'd had an FA Cup game at Arsenal the week before. Looked wonderful. Really good performance. On that day we had Messier making his debut in goal. Looks a really good guy. And we thought, he's probably better than Casilla. We probably need to stick with him. In the end, played wonderfully well. Bamford at the bar, but we didn't take a chance when we could have done, should have been through. They came back second half, tightened up, got on top, scored the only goal of the game. But we were in a really strong position, we thought. Actually, we'll do better in the Premier League than this Championship. It suits us better. We showed that night that we can cope at the top level, or we hope we can. But then came dire afternoon at home to Sheffield Wednesday. We battered them, had all the game, but Barry Bannon playing really, really well. Look, all we had, they looked like they could score a couple themselves, but then they came back at the death, showed us how to score. They scored twice, 2-0. Gary Monk, pantomime villain. Stuffed us, 2-0. We got 6 points on third position. Still a decent, barrier, decent cushion we got there. But then we lost at QPR to a dodgy goal. Naki Wells handball, probably unintentional, but still he took the advantage and scored against us. And we lost. And then we lost Phillips as well at the end. Red carded for a lunging tackle, one that he didn't need to make. That shows he still had something to learn. And now suddenly we're down to 4, gap of 4, and struggling, dropping like a stone. And when Millwall came to Ellen Road and took a 2-goal lead, we thought, hello, we are in trouble here. But then came storming back on a really passionate night at Ellen Road. 3 goals, 3-2, victory, back on track. Doing okay. We can do this, guys. Temporary blip, that's all it is. But then we had Wigan coming back to Ellen Road for the first game since that infamous thing tail end of the previous season. And we couldn't score. We had all the game, plenty of chances, wasting them all. Bags of space on the left, Harrison and Alioski tearing them one. Acosta on the other side looking good. Bamford wasted a host of chances, and then suddenly, second half, we're a goal down, straight from a corner, deflected off Hernandez, looped in the far post, and there he was, old Casilla, flapping, two players there, distracted, got under the ball, pitched in over him, wasn't a deflection, he wasn't at the races, put off by being closely marked, by being bundled by people, couldn't handle it. He's a big guy, 6'3" in, big bow-legged bugger, but he couldn't clear his lines, and we were down. Really grim night that was, really grim night at Ellen Road. Lots of black humour, but Leeds were falling apart again, badly. Then we went to Forest, big up for it Forest, one of the clutcher teams now chasing us, Forest, Fulham, Brentford, dogging us, cutting us down. They were up for it, we weren't so much. First half, tail end of the first half, Amiobi, the gawking guy on the left wing, cut inside, shot. Casilla should have had it right down at his near post, squeezed in. He looked a liability that day. Perhaps it was the racism charge, not sure, but he got a lot of things on his mind. Clearly it wasn't football, because he really was proving to be a bit of a problem now, and they knew about it. The other teams knew about it. And we came back into it. We could have scored a couple, but we didn't. Then right at the death, breakaway. Harrison should have put it out, couldn't, tried to do something fancy. Two players on advancing, took him apart, came through, second goal, 2-0. That was the depth, the real low of the season. The end, ailing, bruised and battered, really down, not sure where to go, one of our leaders. But Bielsa took it on himself, took the blame, rallying cry, rallying speech in the dressing room after, told them how good they were, told them how good they were, told them how good they were, took it on, got a round of applause at the end. Fantastic bloke. Now it didn't immediately bear the rewards, but that was a key moment for us in this fantastic season, key moment for us. And the key point was, despite the defeat, despite what was going on, we were still hanging on to second. We were just hanging on, truth be known, but we were hanging on to second and still in prime position to get up. Big challenge coming up. So we now got 11th of February away to Brentford, the team that was looking really, really good. A really strong side, surprisingly good. Janssen, sold to them at the start of the season. Wouldn't that be poetic justice, he thought, if they go up? And we had Casilla's crowning moment in that game. Early doors, we were looking good. Cooper played the ball across the area back to him. He had nothing else on, played the ball back. Done it 1,000 times all season, pretty standard. Casilla, looking up, missed the ball completely, let it run under his foot, and his hair stumbling away, scraping away, trying to get it, and he couldn't get there. Brentford were wise to what had been going on. Said Barami came running in, put the ball in. Oh, disastrous, disastrous. It was like a school kid error. You don't do that, not at the top. Took his eye off the ball, no concentration. Hung his head in shame, he was falling apart, really was falling apart. But we were in this game, in with the game with a will. Liam Coper showed you how he did it before half time, came back, thrashed it in from a corner. Suddenly we were back to an extent, really resilient game. Now even the drop point there should have been enough to allow the other teams to come through. They were getting their own problems, and we hung on to this position. Only on goal difference, it's true, but we hung on to this position, and we're still there, still in prime position. Full attempt to Charlton that night, couldn't capitalise, they lost 1-0. These times we're also under pressure, and it seems that when you actually get there, when it looks like you're about to get something, when it looks like you're in instancy, that's the dangerous time. So here we are. Dodgiest period of the season, a real stumble, goalkeeping crisis. We'd had here 2 victories in 11 games. 2 victories, 11 games, relegation form, and we were still there, and shown we could still do it. Bielsa had rallied us, saved us at the depths of the despair. Dodgy keeper, but there you go. That was soon going to get sorted, wasn't it? And we gathered ourselves. Bielsa's speech proved crucial. We recovered, and we were soon back.